Hello everybody, it's Miss Amanda. Today is Earth Day, so happy Earth Day. I was actually just sharing with my class in my live morning meeting a cool idea, using recycled materials as toys and building. I actually had a little house built and I was just showing parents, how to wash things and store them. Make sure if you decide to save things, because we've been all cooped up for at least a month, some of us more, have a place for your child to put it away after so that you don't get a little overwhelmed with a mess. But these are really cool things that are in it. You don't have to pay anything. This is all packing materials I've gotten and started collecting. Just really quick though, the egg cartons, I know people get nervous. So the styrofoam ones, hot water and soap. The cardboard ones, pop them in the microwave 15 seconds and they're sterilized. And like I said, make your kids responsible, make them clean it up, have a place to store it. But for today, for Earth Day, I wanted to share one of my favorite stories to go with Earth Day, the Lorax by Dr. Seuss. And Dr. Seuss is the author and the illustrator of this book. So he actually wrote all the words in the book and drew all the pictures. So he's a very talented person. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing except old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives here. Ask him. He knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkin' on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkin' cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great, great, great grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snovel, his secret strange hole in his gravelous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secret I tell you are for your ears alone. Slop down slops the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a sniggerly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swoomy swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, miles and miles in the fresh morning breeze. Oh, that picture looks much better than the previous one. I wonder what happened to make things look so gray and dark and gloomy. We'll have to find out. What do you think might have happened? And under the trees, I saw the brown barbalots frisking about in their barbalot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippleless pond came a comfortable sound of a humming fish humming while it splashed around. I didn't see any of those things at the beginning of the book. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had a sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I'd load up my cart. Uh-oh. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with a chop, and with a great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I finished, I heard a great zoomp. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongue, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very unpleasant as he shouted and puffed, what's that thing you made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a need. A need of find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers, for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool need. Do you think anybody's gonna buy it? Let's find out. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor silly guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Be quiet, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts. I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left on Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow, so I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making needs 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbalots who played in the shade in their barbalot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruits to go round, and my poor barbalots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies." Oh no, so cutting down all those trees, oh, that also got rid of food that the animals were eating. Oh no. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. "Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies in tummies, you know. I mean no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered my loads. Of the needs I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I'm the Lorax," he coughed as he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled, he snarled and sniffed. "Onceler," he cried with a cruffulous croak. "Onceler, you're making such smogless smoke. My poor swami swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing with smog in their throat." "And so," said the Lorax, "please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smuggled up around here." See all the smog coming out of the factory? The birds can't fly in that or sing it, hurts their throat. "What's more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say a few words about gluppity glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity glup, also sloppity slop. And what do you do with the leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty Onceler man, you." Well, that doesn't look good. Oh no. "You're glumping the ponds where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary." And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my right, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm fingering and biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into thneeds, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the field came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left, 'neath the bad-smelling sky, was a big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backwards glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he heisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small piece of rocks that once worded unless. Whatever that means, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the words of the Lorax seem perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffula seed. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula. Treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes and hacks. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. The end. So I think in the end, the Onceler learned that cutting everything down just to make things and make money probably wasn't the best of idea. Hope you all do something fun for Earth Day and have a great day.